Okay, let's talk about hypnosis. But first, a little disclaimer. Some people think that hypnosis is a cool thing. Other people say that hypnosis is a state of human consciousness, and some even consider it as a pseudoscience. Here we will try to be as fair and neutral as we can. If you agree with us, great. If you don't, great. We also like people who think differently. Subjectivity is one of those things that make this world a better place. Now, let's get to the point. We can call hypnosis the attitudes generated through a process called hypnotism. That process can be done by yourself or by someone else. But what happens to your brain during hypnosis? Here's where we'll have like a little war. Well, we don't like war. Let's call it a boxing combat. On one side, Mr. Altered State. This guy defines hypnosis as an altered state of mind, like a trance. And there are levels of that trance, not like Mario Brothers levels like the one in a skyscraper. And the hypnotized person goes to those levels. Maybe like Inception. And on the other side, Mr. Non-State. He says that hypnosis is produced by cheap psychological methods like absorption and expectation. It means, for me, it's easier to hypnotize you when I previously told you that I'm going to do it. That predisposes you and makes the process possible. Do you know what a placebo is? No, not that placebo. Placebo, a harmless pill, medicine, or procedure prescribed more for the psychological benefit to the patient than for any physiological effect. Okay, this definition relates the hypnosis to a placebo very much. But who wins? The truth is that the judges of the combat, in this case the American Psychological Association, well, they don't really know. They're neutral, and they have set some definitions, arguable, misunderstood, or unknown, but definitions in the end. During hypnosis, the person is inducted to get sharply focused on memory, activity, or thought, blocking any other distraction. They are likely to obey suggestions, so be careful not to end up jumping from a cliff or giving away all your money. So at this point, we can divide this into two kinds of hypnosis. First, the hypnotherapy, which is used for therapeutic purposes. And second, the stage hypnosis, done by mentalists with the goal of entertaining an audience. The stage hypnosis is probably the most well-known. I mean, any good magic show has an act of hypnosis. But where did this all begin? Let's travel to the 18th century and meet a friend called Franz Mesmer. He developed a theory commonly known as animal magnetism. He theorized that living creatures had flowing fluids, like a kind of electricity, and that by adjusting these fluids, it'd be possible to cure them. Some people claim that it worked, but after many years, other people tested again, and they realized it didn't work at all. As your relationship with your ex, it didn't work at all. It never worked. So now let's visit the guy who discredited Mesmer, James Braid. Braid introduced the term hypnotism as we know it nowadays. He described it as something similar to meditation and defined a keyword for it: focus. Focus on a psychological state. This guy asked his patients to focus on a specific object, like a dangling pocket watch. And by focusing on this object, they ended up in a sort of trance. I bet you've seen that before, right? And now let's go to Freud. Freud used hypnotherapy to recover repressed memories from his patients, pressing on their forehead. Pretty weird, right? Well, he left it when he found the love of his life, psychoanalysis, and then he experimented combining both methods in a new technique called hypoanalysis. In the following years, hypnosis has been studied and evolved in the way that it's applied, and even more, it has created new disciplines and research fields such as neuro-linguistic programming. Its goal is to develop or improve the behaviors of a patient using the existing connection between neurological processes, the language, and patterns learned by the experience of the patient. The NLP, as it's called by its closest friends, is used to cure phobias, depressions, tic disorders, and so on. Another discipline developed thanks to hypnosis is the EMDR, or the eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. We can call this discipline a friend of ours, so we'll call it just EMDR. I guess this person needs therapy to create cool names. Well, the EMDR is a complex method to cure the PTSD, but PTSD likes to be called by its entire name, so let's call it Mr. Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. Well, agree or not, we can't deny that hypnosis has contributed to growing the knowledge of medicine in general. Probably some things about it sound weird nowadays, but guys, don't judge it too hard. Everybody has a dark past. Everything has the right to recover from bad decisions. Our friend Hipnosis isn't the exception. So leave us a comment with the worst decision you've made in your life so we can judge you as we've judged Hipnosis today. I'm kidding. Leave a comment telling us about the funniest thing or myth you've ever heard about hypnosis. There are some pretty amusing ones out there. Now, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and share this everywhere, even on MySpace and LinkedIn if that's even possible. Stay fresh.